Curious minds! Welcome to another episode of Let Me Share a Fun Fact, where we dive deep into the weird, wild, and wonderful world of interesting facts. Today, we've got some truly mind-blowing tidbits lined up for you, from animals with incredible abilities to fascinating quirks of nature and even some human oddities you probably didn't know about. Whether you're a fan of fun science or just love learning something new, stick around because this is going to be one fascinating ride. The Kiwi, the only bird without a tail. The kiwi is an extraordinary bird for many reasons, but one of its most fascinating traits is that it's the only bird without a tail. Native to New Zealand, this small, flightless bird is an icon in its homeland, yet it defies almost everything we associate with birds. While most birds rely heavily on their sense of sight, kiwis have something even more impressive, a heightened sense of smell. In fact, they are one of the few birds with nostrils located at the tip of their long beaks. This allows them to sniff out their food, like worms and insects, that they often dig up from the ground. Their feathers also resemble fur more than typical bird feathers, giving them a unique, mammal-like appearance. Though they can't fly, kiwis are known for being resilient and highly territorial. With no tail, heightened olfactory senses, and nocturnal habits, the kiwi stands out as a true oddball in the bird world, and yet, that's exactly why we love them. Slugs can hibernate for up to 3 years. Imagine going to sleep for 3 years. Well, that's precisely what some slugs do when faced with unfavorable conditions. Slugs are remarkable in their ability to enter a state of dormancy, often triggered by extreme cold or drought. In this state, which is akin to hibernation, their metabolism slows down so much that they can survive for years without eating or moving. The ability to shut down in response to environmental stress helps slugs survive in harsh climates where food and water are scarce. While they don't have the protective shells that snails use to guard against the elements, slugs manage to create their own slimy barrier, reducing water loss and conserving energy. When the weather improves, these seemingly inactive creatures spring back to life as if no time had passed at all. It's a survival strategy that showcases nature's incredible adaptability, proving that even the smallest, slimiest creatures have fascinating ways of dealing with adversity. 193 centimeters of snow in a single day, a record in Silver Lake, Colorado. If you think winter in your hometown is harsh, you've probably never experienced a snowfall like the one recorded in Silver Lake, Colorado, in 1921. On April 14th and 15th, a mind-blowing 193 centimeters, 76 inches, of snow fell in just 24 hours, setting a world record for the most snow in a single day. That's about the height of an average adult human. Imagine waking up to find your car, house, and even some trees buried under a mountain of snow. This kind of snowstorm would grind life to a halt, and it's a testament to the sheer power of nature. Silver Lake, located in the Rocky Mountains, is known for its harsh winters, but this event was one for the history books. Today, we measure intense snowfall with modern technology, but this record still stands as a reminder of just how wild weather can get. Whether you love snow or dread it, 193 centimeters in a day is hard to imagine, but in Silver Lake, they lived through it. The tiny bat with a big reputation, Kitti's hog-nosed bat. Bats come in all shapes and sizes, but none are quite as small as the Kitti's hog-nosed bat. This tiny mammal holds the title of the smallest bat in the world, and it's also one of the smallest mammals in existence. Weighing in at just about 2 grams and measuring only 29 to 33 millimeters in length, it's hard to believe this little creature can even take flight. Also known as the bumblebee bat, due to its minuscule size, it's found in parts of Thailand and Myanmar, where it roosts in limestone caves. Despite its size, this bat plays a vital role in the ecosystem by helping control insect populations. Kitti's hog-nosed bat is a nocturnal creature, spending its nights flying through forests, feeding on small insects. Although tiny, its wingspan can reach up to 10 inches, giving it agility in the air. It may be small, but this little bat has a big job to do in the circle of life, proving once again that size doesn't always dictate significance. Ants don't have lungs. How they breathe without them. Ants are among the most industrious and resilient creatures on Earth, but did you know that they don't have lungs? Unlike humans and most animals, ants breathe through a system of tiny openings along their bodies called spiracles. These spiracles connect to a network of tubes known as tracheae, which deliver oxygen directly to their tissues. This unique respiratory system is one of the reasons ants are so successful at surviving in different environments. Since they don't have a traditional circulatory system to pump oxygenated blood throughout their bodies, ants rely on diffusion through the spiracles to supply their cells with the air they need. This method is highly efficient for such small creatures, allowing them to thrive in colonies that sometimes number in the millions. So the next time you watch an ant carrying a crumb many times its size, remember that this tiny insect doesn't breathe like we do, but it manages to get the job done all the same. The African elephant, the largest land mammal on Earth. When it comes to sheer size, the African elephant is the undisputed giant of the land. Weighing up to 12,000 pounds and standing as tall as 13 feet at the shoulder, these incredible animals are the largest mammals to walk the earth. Found across various regions of sub-Saharan Africa, these elephants are famous not only for their size but also for their intelligence and complex social structures. Elephants live in matriarchal herds, led by the oldest and wisest female, with strong bonds formed between family members. Their large ears help regulate their body temperature, and their iconic tusks are used for digging, fighting, and stripping bark from trees. Despite their enormous size, elephants are remarkably gentle and can show signs of deep emotional sensitivity, often mourning the loss of a herd member. Unfortunately, the African elephant is currently endangered due to poaching and habitat loss. Their size may make them seem invincible, but these majestic animals need our protection now more than ever. Hey, if you're enjoying these fun facts so far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. There's always something new and fascinating to learn here at Let Me Share a Fun Fact, and I'd love for you to be part of the journey. Subscribe, and you'll never miss a cool fact again. Hummingbirds, the only birds that can fly backward. If you've ever watched a hummingbird in action, you've likely noticed something extraordinary about the way they move. Unlike any other bird on the planet, hummingbirds can fly backward. This ability comes from the unique structure of their wings, which allows them to rotate their wings in a full circle. Most birds flap their wings in a simple up and down motion, but hummingbirds are equipped with a ball and socket joint at the shoulder, enabling them to move their wings in a figure-8 pattern. This gives them incredible maneuverability, allowing them to hover in place, dart side to side, and of course, fly backward. Hummingbirds need this agility to access the nectar deep within flowers, which is their primary food source. Their wings beat at an astonishing rate, up to 80 times per second, and they can reach speeds of up to 60 miles per hour in a dive. Watching a hummingbird fly is like watching a tiny, feathered helicopter in action. They may be small, but these birds are marvels of nature, capable of feats that no other bird can achieve. The rhino's horn, made of the same stuff as your hair. The rhinoceros is one of the most iconic animals in the world, known for its massive size and its striking horn. But did you know that the rhino's horn isn't made of bone? Instead, it's composed of keratin, the same protein that forms human hair and nails. This gives the horn its strength and durability, allowing the rhino to use it for defense, digging, and even showing dominance over other rhinos. Unlike the horns of animals like deer, which are made of bone and covered in a layer of keratin, the rhino's horn is solid keratin all the way through. This unique composition also means that the horn can regenerate if it's damaged or broken, much like how our hair grows back after being cut. Unfortunately, this valuable material is also why rhinos are heavily poached. Many believe the horn has medicinal properties, even though there's no scientific evidence to support these claims. Protecting rhinos from poaching is crucial to ensuring the survival of these incredible animals. Baby rattlesnakes, more dangerous than adults. When it comes to rattlesnakes, you might assume that the bigger the snake, the more dangerous it is. However, this isn't always true. In fact, baby rattlesnakes are often considered more dangerous than their adult counterparts. Why? Because they have less control over the amount of venom they inject when they bite. Adult rattlesnakes can regulate how much venom they release based on the size and threat level of their prey or enemy, but baby rattlesnakes haven't yet developed this ability. As a result, they tend to inject all their venom in one bite, making their strikes potentially more toxic. Rattlesnakes are born with venom that's just as potent as adults, and while they may be smaller, their bites can still cause serious harm. While you should always be cautious around rattlesnakes, understanding the behavior of baby rattlesnakes can help you avoid dangerous situations. Remember, even the tiniest of rattlers can pack a venomous punch. Dogs sweat through their paws. Here's how they stay cool. Ever wondered why your dog pants so much in the summer heat? Unlike humans, dogs don't sweat all over their bodies. Instead, they only have sweat glands in specific areas, primarily their paw pads. These glands, located on the bottom of their feet, help regulate their body temperature, but they're not enough to keep a dog cool on their own. That's where panting comes in. Dogs rely on panting to expel heat and keep their bodies from overheating. By rapidly breathing in cooler air and expelling warm air, they can lower their body temperature effectively. However, their paws do play a role in this process, and if you've ever seen little damp paw prints on a hot day, that's your dog trying to cool off. This unique sweating system is one of the many ways dogs adapt to different environments. Next time you're out for a walk, you'll know that those paw prints are more than just cute, they're a sign that your dog is doing its best to beat the heat. Crickets can predict the temperature. Forget about checking your weather app. If you want to know the temperature, just listen to the crickets. These chirping insects have a fascinating ability to predict the temperature based on the frequency of their chirps. The rule is simple. Count the number of chirps you hear in 15 seconds, then add 37 to that number, and you'll get a close estimate of the temperature in Fahrenheit. This quirky little fact is a result of the way crickets' bodies respond to heat. The warmer it is, the faster their metabolism works, and in turn, the faster they chirp. While it may not be as precise as a thermometer, the cricket temperature formula has been tested and proven to be surprisingly accurate. So, the next time you hear crickets singing on a summer night, you can impress your friends by calculating the temperature without even looking at your phone. It's just another example of how amazing and resourceful the natural world can be. Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in the solar system. If you think Mount Everest is impressive, wait until you hear about Olympus Mons. Located on Mars, Olympus Mons is the largest volcano in the entire solar system. Standing at a staggering 22 kilometers, about 13.6 miles, high, it's nearly 3 times the height of Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on Earth. But it's not just the height that's mind-blowing. Olympus Mons is also incredibly wide, with a base that stretches over 600 kilometers, 373 miles, in diameter. That's roughly the size of the state of Arizona. This massive shield volcano was formed by repeated eruptions of lava over millions of years, and its gentle slope suggests that the lava flowed for long distances before hardening. Because of the low gravity on Mars and the lack of tectonic plate movement, Olympus Mons has been able to grow to such an immense size without collapsing. Although it's been dormant for millions of years, Olympus Mons stands as a monumental reminder of the geological forces that shape our solar system. The queen bee, a long reign in the hive. While worker bees live only a few weeks during the busy season, the queen bee reigns supreme for much longer. In fact, the queen bee can live up to 5 years, a remarkable lifespan compared to her fellow hive members. Her role is crucial to the colony's survival, as she is the only bee in the hive that can lay fertilized eggs. The queen can lay up to 2,000 eggs per day during peak season, ensuring that the colony remains strong and productive. Her longevity is attributed to the special diet she receives, known as royal jelly, which is rich in nutrients that sustain her throughout her life. While worker bees toil away, collecting nectar and maintaining the hive, the queen's sole purpose is to reproduce, ensuring the next generation of bees. When her reign comes to an end, usually after about 5 years, the colony will raise a new queen, continuing the cycle of life in the hive. It's a fascinating example of how nature creates balance and order within even the smallest of creatures. Humans and dolphins, more than just reproduction. Among the millions of species on Earth, only 2 are known to engage in sexual activity purely for pleasure: humans and dolphins. For most animals, mating is a straightforward, instinctual process driven by the need to reproduce and ensure the survival of the species. However, dolphins, like humans, seem to derive enjoyment from sexual interactions beyond reproduction. Studies have shown that dolphins engage in sexual behaviors outside of mating seasons, often forming strong social bonds through these interactions. This behavior is especially common among bottlenose dolphins, which are known for their playful nature and high intelligence. The fact that dolphins, one of the most intelligent species in the animal kingdom, exhibit this trait highlights their complex social structures and emotional capacities. It's another reminder that the natural world is full of surprises, and that humans aren't as unique as we might think when it comes to behavior and emotion. The liver, the body's largest internal organ. When we think of organs, the brain or heart might come to mind first, but the liver quietly holds the title of the body's largest internal organ. Weighing in at approximately 1.3 to 1.6 kilograms, or around 3 to 3.5 pounds, in adults, the liver performs over 500 vital functions that keep us alive and healthy. It's responsible for detoxifying the blood, producing bile to aid in digestion, regulating blood sugar levels, and storing vitamins and minerals for future use. In fact, the liver is so important that it's the only organ in the body that can regenerate itself. If a part of the liver is damaged or removed, it can grow back to its original size. This resilience makes it one of the most fascinating organs in the human body. Despite its impressive capabilities, the liver is also vulnerable to damage from excessive alcohol consumption, unhealthy diets, and certain diseases. Keeping the liver healthy is essential for overall well-being, making it one of the unsung heroes of the human body. Komodo dragons, venomous giants of the reptile world. Komodo dragons may look like giant lizards, but these prehistoric-looking creatures have a secret weapon that makes them even more dangerous: venomous saliva. Unlike snakes, which inject venom through their fangs, Komodo dragons use a combination of venom and harmful bacteria in their saliva to incapacitate their prey. When they bite into their target, the venom works to lower the blood pressure of the animal, leading to shock, while the bacteria from their mouths can cause deadly infections. This dual-threat approach makes Komodo dragons fearsome hunters, capable of taking down animals much larger than themselves, such as deer and even water buffalo. Despite their slow appearance, Komodo dragons are fast and agile, able to sprint up to 12 miles per hour when chasing prey. Native to a few Indonesian islands, these massive reptiles can grow up to 10 feet long and weigh more than 150 pounds. Their venomous bite and size make them the apex predators of their environment, ruling their habitat with a combination of brute strength and biological warfare. Antarctica, a land without reptiles or snakes. Antarctica is home to some of the most extreme conditions on Earth, and it's the only continent where you won't find any reptiles or snakes. The harsh climate, with temperatures that can drop as low as -80 degrees Fahrenheit, is simply too cold for cold-blooded creatures like reptiles to survive. Unlike mammals and birds, which can regulate their body temperature internally, reptiles rely on external sources of heat to stay warm. This makes life in Antarctica impossible for them, as they wouldn't be able to maintain the necessary body temperature to function. While penguins, seals, and other animals have adapted to the extreme cold, reptiles have no place in the icy landscape of Antarctica. The absence of snakes and reptiles is one of the many factors that make Antarctica such a unique and inhospitable environment. It's a land where only the hardiest of creatures can survive, adding to its mystique as one of the last truly wild frontiers on Earth. Cicadas, the longest hibernation in the insect world. Cicadas are known for their loud, buzzing songs during the summer months, but what's even more fascinating about these insects is how long they spend underground before emerging. Some species of cicadas can live as underground nymphs for up to 17 years before finally coming to the surface to reproduce. During this time, they burrow deep into the soil, feeding on the sap from tree roots while they grow and mature. When the time is right, they emerge in large numbers, shedding their exoskeletons and transforming into adults. This synchronized emergence often results in huge swarms of cicadas, which fill the air with their distinctive calls as they search for mates. Once they've completed their life cycle above ground, they die shortly after reproducing, leaving behind a new generation of eggs that will hatch and burrow back underground to repeat the process. It's a remarkable life cycle that shows the incredible patience and resilience of nature, as these insects wait more than a decade for their moment in the sun. And there you have it, folks, some of the most intriguing fun facts from across the animal kingdom, the natural world, and even a bit of human biology thrown in. I hope you learned something new today. Now it's your turn. Let me know in the comments which fun fact you already knew and which one totally surprised you. And if you love discovering little-known facts like these, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future episodes. Thanks for watching, and remember, there's always something new to learn here at Let Me Share a Fun Fact. See you next time!